Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha. Today I'm going to be sharing with you an eyeshadow look. It's an eyeshadow look that I was actually wearing a couple of days ago in a recent video. You loved it, you let me know that you love it, and you asked me if I could recreate it. So I thought I would recreate it today, but there are going to be a few differences. So in the original eye look, I actually used the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. So this one here. This one is quite expensive, and I know that a lot of you out there love Revolution. Let me just show you inside this palette first of all. You'll see which shade I used for the inner corner. It was this one here, and I believe it was called Pool Party. This one I used as the lid shade or the spotlight shade. I used this one up here as the crease shade. I think it was that one. Yeah, it was this one. Actually, this one here, I believe. Yeah, and I really enjoyed that look. I enjoyed recreating it. I actually copied it from a Jaclyn Hill YouTube video. I followed the tutorial. It was very easy, loved it. And I really like the idea that on YouTube you can just stop and start, you can pause it. So I had to go back a few times because usually I don't wear such a bright inner corner shade. I wanted something different, and this really fitted the bill. Now the difference is today, like I said, I used the Morphe palette. It's quite expensive, but I know a lot of you out there love Revolution, particularly this palette, and it is a recent launch. The palette that I've used today is the Revolution Kiss of Fire palette in collaboration with Carmi. And yeah, I thought I would try this palette out, see how it worked. Amazingly, I created this look here, which is very similar to the look that I created the other day. So the palette looks like this. This one retails for £10. I think the Morphe one is something like, is it 30 something, 40 something? So it is quite a bit more expensive. And then the shades look like this. I've swatched them. What I will do as we move along through the video is share with you the swatches, share with you the shades that I've used and how I've created the shades. Now the difficulty with the Carmi palette is that when I created the look a couple of days ago, I used a basic brown shade. Carmi doesn't have that in his palette, so I've had to mix up a few shades. So I'm going to be using my Primark eye contour brush. Of course, just use whatever brush you're comfortable using. So to start off with, so I've got them swatched here. So it's the Kiss of Fire shade, and I used that and mixed it in with a little bit of Yellow Heart. So I've primed my eyes, and I've used the Revolution Pro Eye Elements in Core. Absolutely love the formulation with those bases. Absolutely beautiful. I don't think I'll ever use anything else now. So yeah, I'm just going to mix up the Kiss of Fire with a little bit of Yellow Heart, and then I'm just going to apply that on the eye, obviously in the crease and then above. And it works beautifully. I didn't want it so, so red toned. So, like that shade is very burgundy. Now with these shades, they are very pigmented. So what I do is I just literally go in very lightly and just add a little bit at a time. And adding that yellow really neutralizes that burgundy and really gives a more of a neutral eye look, because I didn't want it to be too red, because I know there's a few of you out there that don't like too red eye looks. So we're getting there, but obviously we need a little bit of depth. Which that shade has. It's just a beautiful palette, and of course I have let Carmi know how much I love his palette, and I had to voice my opinion both to Tammy and Carmi actually, because their palettes are just amazing. Love them. Okay, so we're nearly there. Like I say, I always do this with Carmi's palette because, in fact, actually, Carmi and Tammy's palettes are so pigmented. definitely a light hand is needed. So I think, yep, that's the base. So then what I did was just mix those two colours again, and then I just went under the eye. I just love this colour combination. Like that, a little bit more. I mean, it's actually quite, even though I know that you've got that pop of colour there, you've got that turquoise in the inner corner, but actually it's not too bad. It is quite daytime appropriate, even with that pop of colour. If you don't want to go in, and obviously that inner corner highlight is the star of the show, but obviously you could miss that out. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but I wanted something different on that particular day, and that's what I've got. Then I went in with the shade Bibi, which is this beautiful orange shade, and I just went over the top. Just ran that all the way over the top, and that then gave me the look that I wanted. And I didn't go underneath with that, I just kept that on the top. So we've got the base there. Now we can start adding colour. So I'm using my Wilko flat brush. You can just pick these up from Wilko, and I went in with the shade Morning Call, which is that beautiful purple shade. It is a shimmer, and we are going to put a shimmer here, but it's absolutely fine and it works beautifully. The reason why I've used this brush is because we're packing colour on. We're not going to blend this colour out. It is purely just to pack on there on the outer third of the eye. I then took it in the crease, again just patted it in through the crease, but we're only keeping it in that area. And then I've brought it out a little bit, not too much. What we don't want is too much depth. Then I went back in with my first brush, and I just went over, or ran it through the crease, I would say. Ran it through the crease, just blending that purple through like that. I don't want to change those colours in any way that we've laid down there. I'm just going to also blend it on this part here, like that. So we're left with just that purple there. I'm just going to add a little bit more, like that. So we're now ready to add another colour. So I then went in with, and I used this brush. You can use any pencil brush. All of my others are in the wash, so I used this one. It's angled, it works very well. Now I went in with the shade Dominion, which is that beautiful shade there. And this, you're going to see now why such a thin angled brush worked perfectly with this application. And all I did was I just added it on that inner part of the eye there. Don't worry if you go too far, because we're going to be adding a spotlight colour in a moment. Now I've laid that down, you can see that this, although there is some shimmer to this shade Dominion, it hasn't got the intensity of that inner corner. We really want that to, you know, shine out, and it's also a little bit too intense, the colour, for what I wanted. But then just keep building it up until you're happy with that base colour. So I'm happy with that for now. And then using the same brush, I then took that colour all the way around the inner corner, like that. Do not worry if you make any mistakes whatsoever, you'll be able to fix those. Then I just need I'm I'm calling it a colour switcher. It's what I picked up from Primark. It works absolutely beautifully. Just got one of those sponges like that in there, and it works so well just to clean my brush. Now I went in with My Fair Lady, which is swatched here. Beautiful pink shade on the same brush, which is now a little bit cleaner. I then went over the top of that colour, so that Dominion colour. Just keep going over the top, and what it will do is it will lighten it, but it will also brighten it as well. Like that. I'm just going to clean my brush, and I'm going to go into My Fair Lady again, and then I'm going to take that up a little bit on its own. Like that. So it's lighter right on the inner corner. Okay, so that's that shade laid down. Then I went in with, I thought, what am I going to use for that middle spotlight shade? There's no brown in here, but there is. There's the shade Opulence, which is the highlight shade. So that beautiful shade there. So I went in with my finger, and this is extremely pigmented. And I just went in the middle like that and created a spotlight. And then all you need to do then is use your finger or brush, whatever you want, just to blend that in. It is a little bit of a different consistency, so you just need a little bit of that. I'm just going to put a little bit of that shade Morning Cool and mix that in there on that edge like that. So that is the look so far, and then so basically that is your eye look complete. I'm just going to get my first brush and just go over that like that. But so far that is your eye look. You know, your base products, your eyeshadows, using the in fact, actually no, I've missed out one slight step. I went in then with the, and there's a reason why I've swatched the black very small, because I used a very minimal amount of Game On, which is that black shade, on that same brush that I used the purple, or applied the purple shade, and I just added a little bit there. And what I like, right on the crease, and the reason why I love this shade is because it's not too intense. It's one of those black shades, because when I watch a lot of tutorials, the people doing the tutorials really want that intense black, you know, black as night, I suppose, shade. And I tend to find that that kind of a black can ruin your look very, very quickly. So Game On is, I mean, obviously it's a lovely black shade, but it also is more like a charcoal shade, and I really like that because it gives me the intensity without overpowering the look. And I mentioned that when I you know, shared with you the palette. I will link that video down below if you haven't seen that, because it then takes you all around the actual palette, Carmi's palette. Now I'm using, of course, the Revolution Pro HD Smoky liner, so I'm just going to line this side of my eye like that. I also used the Renaissance Flick, the liquid liner, and I hope I can do this on camera. And so what I'm just going to do is line my eye. There's no flick involved, it's just a little bit of intensity. that's worked very, very well. Like I say, it just added a little bit of intensity. There's no flick, so very, very simplistic. And then, of course, I'm using my Primark PS Amplif-eyed mascara in black. So I'm just going to just coat my top lashes. And that is the look complete. Okay, so that is my look. So I followed a Jaclyn Hill tutorial. I had to put the makeup on this eye so that I would know what steps to do, because you know it is a little bit tricky when you're following someone else's you know, tutorial, and there were so many shades involved and so many steps. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Obviously I've swapped it to the Carmi Kiss of Fire palette just because this palette is so vibrant. Let me just open it up again. It is vibrant, and of course it will do a little bit more of a subtle eye look, but I really wanted to use it today and it worked perfectly. I mean, that's the inner corner shade is very, very vibrant, and I'm absolutely loving this look. So I'd love to hear your feedback on what you're thinking about the look, what you're thinking about the, you know, swapping from the Morphe palette to the Carmi Kiss of Fire palette. I would love your thoughts on that. Do you think it's worked? Are you going to give this a go if you have picked up the Carmi Kiss of Fire palette? Yeah, so it's something a little bit different. Like I say, it's something out of my comfort zone, but I think it really does work. I love that pop of turquoise in the inner corner, and I love all of the other shades as well. Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, as always, I'd love your feedback on that. And of course, if you have just stumbled across my channel, I would love it if you subscribe to watch further videos. I did hear from one of my viewers yesterday that they're not receiving, even though they are they have selected that notification bell, they haven't or are not receiving notifications for my videos. I upload every single day, so by 4 or 5 in the afternoon I will have a video up available. So always check my channel every day apart from Sundays, because I'm sure that there will be a new video. So until tomorrow, thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Bye.